Everyone. We will get started in just a couple of minutes. I'll just give people a little more time to join us. While we wait, why don't you tell me in the chat who is new, who hasn't done a vocabulary session with me before, and who's done one before. I think a few of my regulars are planning on coming today. So just let me know in the chat whether you're new or old, as we call them, veterans, the old pupils. Hi there, hello, if you've just joined. Hopefully you can hear me. I think I know a few of you have already heard me. So can you just let me know in the chat whether you are new, whether you're a novice or a veteran, an older student that's, well, not necessarily older in age, but older in terms of you've come to some of my classes before. Got quite a few newbies, so welcome. Okay, hello. I would say hello to you by name, but your parents' names are what's coming up. That's Hale. I will probably use the surnames to refer to you during the session, unless you put your name after your answers, just so you know who I'm responding to. Great, so you can see and hear me. So that's fabulous. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so we shall get started soon. Thank you. I hope to live up to your expectations. You've heard good things. Just to give it a couple of seconds before we get started, so that no one misses anything. While we wait, could you perhaps think about some words ending with certain suffixes? I'll go over what suffixes are in a minute, but we're going to be focusing on iffy and n today, or if I should say. Can you think of any words ending with these two suffixes? If so, can you write them in the chat? And don't use any of the words that are on the worksheets if you've already seen those. So try and come up with your own. So words ending with if I and n. Okay, so some of your mum's surnames are different to yours. It's very tricky. But you may have to just bear in mind what your mum's surnames are if they're different from yours. Identify, that's a good one. Write that down. Electrify. Oh, notify. Fancy. Sturden, I don't think is a word. Blake surname. Good. The inendify isn't a word. I'm trying to think what word you might be thinking of. You might be thinking of identify, I'm not sure. Good, Goktag. Intensify, good. A few of you saying broken. Got that on the board. Not men. We'll talk about why not. Yes, I'm going to save, Goktag, I'm going to save a couple of your words for later because those are words that are coming up in the session. And token, I won't include because it doesn't fit the pattern, but I'll tell you why in just a second. Okay, I think we should get started properly. Oh, classify. Hang on. And loosen. Good one. All right. Okay, we'll get started properly. I shall record the session. So for those that don't know me, my name is Kamilah, as you can probably see on screen. So I teach 11 plus classes, specifically vocabulary. That's my passion. And I also write resources. So I've created a range of flashcards and workbooks and vocab games that you can get as well as the classes. So today we are going to be focusing on suffixes. So who can tell me in a nutshell, so it means in a short, small way, what a suffix is? Can anyone explain? Oh, I'm seeing some more example words coming through. I'll talk about those in a second. So while I write that down, can anyone who knows what a suffix is? Just, you'll see me looking down or up because I'm looking at your comments, by the way. The end of a root word, yes. So most words are made up of a prefix and then a base or root word and then a suffix. So generally, I need my highlighter now. Here we go. Generally, a prefix, a root word, and a suffix, they have to be combined with something. So they can't be words on their own. So if I and n are suffixes, and they don't work as words on their own. A base word does, however, work as on its own. So act would be a base word that we can add lots of suffixes or prefixes to change the meaning of the base word. So you have all given me some lovely words ending with different suffixes. Now, I didn't write down all of the words that you suggested, actually. Can I? See a few more answers as well. So good. Lots of you know that the suffix goes at the end of the word. Well done. So it's not a pair of words, the root words and the suffix. They make, when you put a root word and a suffix together, they combine to make one word. Okay, so a couple of people had mentioned other words ending with N, like men, which of course does end with N. However, in this case, N isn't being used as a suffix because M on its own isn't a base or a root word. But the words that I wrote down over here, you have got an original root word or a base word, and then a suffix has been added. Now, can anyone figure out what the -I and N suffixes mean? So when we add those to a word, what do they mean? Simplify is one of those words. We're not going to write it down now because it comes up. So angel, sorry, I know that's your parents' name, not your name, but hen wouldn't count as a word where N is used as a suffix, even though it ends with N. Good, well done, surname Blake. -I means to do or to make something, and so does N. So if you identify someone, you are, so it's a doing word, these make these into verbs. You make, you figure out their identity, so you kind of make their identity in a roundabout way. Electrify, you're making someone electric, so you're making it happen. Intensify, it's a good one, so you're making something more intense, so we intensify. Yeah, yes, good. So we are making these verbs, so to do or to make. So to make something even better. In some cases it could be, but in other cases it's just you're making it that thing. So broken, you're making it. Oh wait, hang on. I wrote down broken. I actually shouldn't have. Let me take that back, because the N suffix is being used in a different way, not to make it a verb. So I take it back. I'm sorry. But to loosen, yes, you are making something more loose, you see. So not necessarily making it better, but you're just making it whatever this root word is. Okay, so let's match up a few words. So a lot of them are if-I, but one of them is just fi, and a few of them are n. So satis-what? Can you make that whole word for me? So do we satisn or do we satisfy or satisfy? What do you think? Do we satisn, satisfy, or satisfy? Good, Khalid. Good, Afifanaz, I think I'm saying that correctly. Good, well done. So it's satisfy. What does it mean if you satisfy someone? So you are making them satisfied, and you're bringing them satisfaction. What does that mean? Don't jump ahead. Hold on. Some of you are giving me answers to the next lot of questions. So what does satisfy mean on its own? Does anybody know? Okay. Quite quiet, so I shall tell you. To satisfy someone is to make them happier, so that they are no longer unhappy. You may not have made them really happy, but if you're satisfied, then everything's okay. You're not unhappy about something. Okay, simple. So the base word here would have been simple. And so if you make something more simple, you simple what? Good. There you go, Mustafa. You make them feel better, yes, so satisfy. Good. Okay, good answers for good. Khalid, Zeb, Mustafa, Mahmood. Good. Simplify. So if you make something simpler, you simplify it. So as a teacher, I often try to simplify the concept so that the children understand them. Okay, beaut. So our base word here is beauty. So if you want to make something more beautiful, you are going to what? Do you beauten it or do you beautify it? Good, her name Jane. Yes, so simplify is to make something easy. Yes, I am trying to simplify the vocab. So if we add ed on the end, by the way, we would change that y to an I. I'm trying to simplify the definitions for you, so it's not overly complicated. Good, well done. Beautify. Beautify. So, you might add some flowers to the garden to beautify it. Okay. Weak. So if you make something weaker, then you what? Do you weaken or do you weakify? Agrol, you're skipping ahead. You are correct, so well done. We'll get to some more definitions in a minute. If you have figured all of those out, why don't you tell me some other if-I words? Good. Weaken. And loose. So if you make something looser, you loose. That's okay if English isn't your strong point. Learning some vocabulary will definitely help. That will help with your comprehension, as well as synonyms and antonyms. Okay, good, well done. It's not weakify, it is weaken. And if you make something looser, then you loosen. Loosen. Okay, all right, make sure you're up to date with where we are. Solid. So if you make something more solid, what do you do? Do you soliden or do you solidify? What do you think? There's a bit of a delay, I think, so sorry if I'm taking a while here. Not getting many answers for the solid part. What do we do? Thank you, Khalid. We solidify. So if something wasn't certain, perhaps, then you might solidify it. So perhaps you'd said to your friends, oh, let's maybe meet up this weekend. But then you don't have a time or a place. You might call them to solidify your plans. You want to make it solid, not like liquid and unsure. Okay, terror. So if you bring terror to someone, if you're doing it, then you terror. I'm going to match this one up actually because of the delay. Good. Some of you have given me a word for hard. So you harden. Okay. So satisfy, simplify, beautify, weaken, loosen, solidify, terrify, and harden are our words. Can you try and write those down, please, with the correct spellings? So if you've got the worksheet, then if you printed the worksheet, then you can write them in this section. If not, just write them on a piece of paper. And if you already have those written down, because I think some of you were a little ahead, could you perhaps give me an example of how someone might try to beautify something? How would you beautify? Or what would you try to beautify? I'm writing these words on the board for you as well, in case you want to copy the spellings a little more clearly. You'd add decorations, yes, so maybe with a Christmas tree. To beautify it, you would add some decorations. Good, Mustafa. So when someone tries to make someone or something beautiful, I have a picture for this actually. I wonder if, I might try and get it later. I have a picture of someone trying to beautify something that I think you'll enjoy. I forgot to put it in my slides, so I'll try and get it for you while you're writing something later. You might want to beautify the bedrooms. Yes, perhaps if you bought an old shabby house, you would do something to beautify bedrooms. Good, a makeup artist would try to beautify their customer. To wash a dirty dog would beautify them, yes. I take my dog to the groomers to beautify him. And I think it works. He comes back beautiful. Okay, good. I think you've got those down. So let's go on to some other words. I have a few more examples of if-I words, but I think we'll come to those later if we have time. A wreath, yes, a wreath would beautify the front of a house, wouldn't it? Well done. Good. Lanterns, yes. A neighbour of mine has lots of multicolored lanterns to beautify their back garden. Okay. Beautify a princess. Yes, so princess might already be beautiful, but you may dress her up to beautify her. Okay, let's get into some definitions. So I'm going to go through these words. I'm going to give you some clues so that you can try and work out the meanings of the words before I reveal the definitions. And then as I reveal the definitions, I would like you to write down the word and the definitions either on your worksheets or just on a piece of paper. Okay, if I'm going too fast at any point or you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I will try to slow down for you. Okay, all right, so what is the meaning of pacify? So the clue, the word pacify comes from the root meaning peace. So it relates to the word peace. Think about the suffix that has been added. And then the second clue is that the American word for a child's dummy is a pacifier. So why would you give a child a dummy? Because you want to do what? To make peace or calm. Well done. You're not sure what to do? Then for right now, you just need to listen. You can answer any questions. If I ask a question and you know the answer, then you can write it in chat. If you don't, then just wait and I'll reveal the answer. And once I show you the definitions, then you can write it down. I'll remind you when you need to write something down. Okay, so pacify. Good. To make someone happier by giving them what they want. Yes. So it's not on its own just making someone happier, not like satisfy, but it is giving them what they want so then they calm down. Good. Exactly. So pacifier you would give to a baby to stop them from crying. So you're trying to calm them down. Good. So now get ready to write. So pacify means to bring peace and tranquility. There are two L's there, and there shouldn't be. I don't know how that crept in. There you go. Justify doesn't exactly mean clarify, so hold on a second. Okay, so write that down. Pacify means to bring peace and tranquility. If you're writing this on a piece of paper, you can just write the word and then a little dash and then the definition. All right, next one, petrify. So this word comes from the Greek root petra, which means rock. A little trickier. And then another clue is that the Petrificus totalis spell in Harry Potter is also known as the body binding spell. So you make it so that someone cannot move. So how would that relate to a rock? And how would that relate to the -ify suffix as well? So how can you make someone a rock? Good. To turn a thing or someone into stone or to scare someone a lot. Well done. To scare somebody by doing something like jump scaring them. Yes. Yes, to make someone freeze. Exactly. So if someone is petrified, the idea is that they're so scared, they freeze, they can't move. You don't have to take it quite so literally, but that's where the word comes from. And if in nature, if something is petrified, it means it has actually been turned into rock. Okay, so the first meaning is to change into stone. And the second meaning is to paralyze with fear or astonishment. To paralyze means you can't move a muscle. If you don't know what paralyze means, you want a simpler definition, I'll simplify it for you. Let's write to make someone freeze. Yep, to make someone freeze, good. That's your second definition. And the first definition is to literally change into stone. Good. Affixes, to scare or shock. Scare, for anyone unsure, is spelled S-C-A-R-E. Hello, if you've just joined us. We are just writing down some definitions of words ending with -ify. So pacify and petrify are what we've done so far. Good, to make someone freeze. Okay, have you got that written down? May I move on? Good, I think everyone knows now that means to scare. Well done. So remember, petrify, to scare. Okay, if you haven't got it written down, write it down quickly. And those of you that have it written down, you can start looking at mod and, well, modify, I should say. You can look at the example sentence for a clue. Thank you for letting me know. I can move on. Okay, write that down quickly if you haven't got it already. Okay, modify. What do people think that means? It's not exactly to shape, but you're close. Could be an upgrade, could be a downgrade. It's not to make someone modern, but that's a really good guess. To make something modern, there is a word for that. It's modernize. Because the "-ize suffix also means to make it something. So modify doesn't exactly mean upgrade. As long as it's to make it like new. Good, Mahmood. To add more stuff, like adding exhaust to a car, spoiler, I don't know what spoilers are, tints and new rims. Yes. Oh, good, so to change, thank you. Okay, so just listen for a second rather than typing now, so that I know that you are getting this definition. Yes, so a couple of you said to change, good. Some of you said you have no idea. I'm glad, really, because that means I can teach you something. Okay, so to modify, it could be an upgrade, but the example sentence here is some game players will make modifications to the game. So that means they change it in some way, in that case to make it better for them, so it would be an upgrade to them, but it's just to change something in some way. So I will modify it. You'd usually change something, it's kind of like personalizing as well. So you make it the way you want it. So to change something, and then synonyms, amend or alter. To change something, amend or alter. What does modify mean? There you go, it's on the screen. No angry faces, please. If you're that angry, then you may have to stop watching if your parents will let you. I hope it's not that infuriating at class, but let's keep things positive. Stop it with the angry faces now, I've asked nicely. Okay, so have you got that definition down for modify? Alter is to change as well. So change, modify, amend, alter, they're all synonyms. So those are kind of your bonus new words at the end, but the main definition is to change something. Okay, make sure you've got it written down. Good, thanks for letting me know. To fix something. Good, Kelly, you're looking at the next one. Yes, so next word. The clue is that it comes from the Latin rectus, which means right. So it literally means to make right. What might you rectify? You might try to rectify a situation, a mistake. Yes, good, Savant, to correct it, to fix it in some way. Yeah, it is similar in meaning to alter, but it's to alter in order to make it right or correct, not just general alterations. So it's when something was actually wrong and then you rectify it. Modify, something could have been just fine, but you decided to change it. Yeah, so you might rectify a mistake, you might rectify your answer to a maths question, yes. If you've upset someone, you might try to rectify things with them, so to make it right. Okay, so you said to change something, like changing the truth of what somebody thinks about the past. B, I guess it depends on how. Oh, you said to alter something like change your bedroom wallpaper. So I would say not change your bedroom wallpaper, but well, in my house, a lot of things had to be rectified because when I got my house, the person that lived here before had done all of this DIY stuff and he'd made a load of mistakes and things didn't work properly. So I had to get someone in, I had to get a plumber in to rectify the mistakes that had been made before. So I wouldn't say, I did get wallpaper, but I wouldn't say that was rectifying because it wasn't exactly wrong. But some things were just plain wrong. Like they were leaking and stuff, so it had to be rectified. Okay. Yes, so modify, yes, to make something right or better, more to make something better or just personalize it. So rectify is to make something right or to correct it. Not exactly the meaning for clarify. We'll get there. Have you looked at the clue for clarify? Zeb, you might rectify your answers in a test. Good. Good, surname Blake, well done. Good, Brown, you're correct, well done. Okay, so clarify. The root word is clear. So you are just making something more clear. So we had an example here. So he clarified the plan for stealing the crown jewels. Yes, correct usage. Okay, clarify what you wrote. Yes, perhaps if you wrote something and it was confusing for someone, they might say, well, what did this mean? Or what does that word say? Could you clarify, please? So then you make it clearer. You kind of just give a bit more of an explanation. You might ask me in this session to clarify, I think kind of have, ask me to clarify the meaning of a word because you kind of know, but it's not completely clear. Okay, to make something clear or intelligible. Intelligible means you can understand it. You might simplify something in an effort to clarify, yes. Good, Alex, to elaborate on upon something. Yeah, that would be how you clarify. Usually you elaborate. So not to make it understand, but to make it understood and clear. Good on verify, Anu. It's not truthful. Remember the if-I suffix is to make it something. So the word verify, the clue is that it comes from the Latin root veris, meaning true. So how do you make something true? Good, Blake. And Suresh, to check something to show that it really is true. Exactly. So if you verify, often things like places like banks might ask you to verify your identity. They might need to verify your identity. So you might give them your passport so that they can verify, they can make sure that it's true that you are who you said you are, or who you say you are. Not to make a final decision, but yes, to confirm something, to check it. So to check whether something is true, can you write that down, please? Yeah, to confirm, good. In some ways it's to confirm that it's true, technically. So to not being honest, but to check that someone is being honest is to verify. But good guess. You could be verified on Facebook. Yes, if you are verified on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, that means that they have actually checked that you are who you say you are. So on Instagram and on Twitter, some celebrities will have a blue tick next to their name, and that means their identity has been verified. So someone has made sure that it really is that celebrity and not just someone pretending to be that celebrity. Good example. Okay, so justify, some of you are looking at that. Verify on Google, Gmail, yes, they can verify things on there too. Yes, so to justify is to try to make something just. And for those that aren't sure what just means, it means that something is fair and reasonable. So if you justify something, you show that it was the right thing to do or that it was fair. So if someone said, why did you do that? I think maybe you're picking on that person. You might justify your actions and explain why actually you were being fair. Sometimes people may say that's unjustifiable. So there's no way of showing that that's right because it was just plain wrong. Yeah, to say why you did something, to explain yourself. Now, can you write justify to show that something is fair or right? To verify a song, I don't think you'd verify a song. I don't think we can use that one. I'm trying to think whether there was any circumstance where you would, but I don't think so. So to make something clear, do you mean for justify? Verify on Roblox or Minecraft. I'm not sure how one verifies on Roblox or Minecraft, not having played, but I can imagine that you would need to. Like if you were paying for something on there, then they might want to verify that you are over a certain age or verify that you're the person that is in charge of that money. You might modify a guitar, yeah, good. Verify a letter. You might verify a letter if it's of great importance. So for example, if I said I had a letter that was by a famous author, then I might take that to someone to verify that that is the case. So to check that it's true, that it is by that person. Okay, let's do a close test, and then I'm going to get you to give me some example sentences. Okay, so the close test, the way we usually do this is I will go through the questions and I will give you some hints. Some of these you may not need hints. I'll give you some hints and then we'll go back to the beginning and I will tell you what the answers were. Okay. So if you verify for Roblox, thank you for the explanation. You verify your birthday so that you can voice chat because you can only do it at 13. Exactly, yeah. So you would verify your age. That's what they're verifying. And if you verify on a website, exactly, you get a text to check that you're the person logging in. Good example. Exactly, so that is another form of verification. So what that word means when you see that, they're checking that what you say is true. Okay, let's do our close test. So we have some words that we have covered already today. Okay, so my postman delivered the wrong letters to my house, so he had to come back to something his mistake. So he had to come back and make it right because he made a mistake. Good, I'm glad you've learned a lot of words. Let's practice them with the closed test. Let's see if you can use them in a sentence. Good. Yeah, you verify your ID with a passport or driver's license. Exactly. Okay. Concentrate on the closed test for me now. Don't want you to miss anything. So the first one, he had to come back and make sure he made his mistake right. What word was that? Okay. Miranda left a treat for her dog to something him when she left the house. She wanted to calm him down, to give him what he wanted to calm down. So to bring peace. The something child clung to her mother when she saw the spider. So she was very, very scared. So scared she froze, was paralyzed with fear. Good. It's not, we haven't used the word clarify yet. Okay, good. Benjamin wasn't sure what to do next, so he asked his teacher to something her instructions. So he asked her to make them more clear because he was confused. Not satisfy. So to make the instructions more clear. Okay, next page. The council added trees and flowers to the park in an effort to something the area. So added trees and flowers to the park in an effort to something the area, to make it more beautiful, to make it look nicer. After a lot of discussion, the family was finally able to something their holiday plans. So they made them firm because they were a bit wishy-washy before. Now they're firm and they know what they're doing. Not clarify, but to make it firm. My mum rewrote the recipe using easier words to something it for me. So to make it easier, to make it simpler. If you don't know, that's okay. I'm going to go through the answers. So just take a guess where you can. And if not, then we'll go through it. The film's ending did not something its fans. Many found it to be anticlimactic. And now lots of my pupils like this word, anticlimactic, once they know what it means. So it means when you're expecting like a big finish, a big exciting finish, and instead of the film going like up, 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 and then bang, and it goes up, up, up. So it was disappointing. So the film's ending did not something its fans. They weren't happy. They didn't feel like they got what they needed. Good, Suresh. Okay, freshly cooked flapjacks will something as they call. There are actually two words that you could use here, but I want you to use, hang on, I can't say that because it'll be too big a clue. But I don't want you to use solidify. I'll say that. So can you find a synonym for solidify in the original group of words, please? Good, Brown. I think autocorrect changed your word there, but I know what you mean. Not garden. And then children used the tree as a swing, which caused its branches to something. So they got less strong, made them more what? Good. Okay, let's go through. I will quickly put in the answers. And if you've got the worksheets, then write these down, please. So my postman delivered the wrong letters to my house, so he had to come back and something. Oh, I have been on my phone so much that it's just died. So I can't see your comments for a minute, but I will reload it. Okay, so my postman delivered the wrong letters to my house, so he had to come back to rectify his mistake. Miranda left a treat for her dog to pacify him when she left the house. Again, I can't see your comments right now, but I will see them in a minute, so do keep sending them and then I'll read through. So the petrified child clung to her mother when she saw the spider. Benjamin wasn't sure what to do next, so he asked the teacher to clarify her instructions. The council added flowers and trees to the park in an effort to beautify the area. So I'll go back and just give you a little more time to write first page. Just getting back to your comments. Okay. The class will end in about 10 minutes. Okay. After a lot of discussion, the family was finally able to solidify their holiday plans. My mum rewrote the recipe using easier words to simplify it for me. Well done. I know a lot of you got these correct. Well done. The film's ending did not satisfy its fans because they found it to be anticlimactic. So they weren't happy with the ending. They didn't feel like they got everything they needed. Freshly cooked flapjacks will harden. Ooh. Well, that's not happened before. Okay, well, my words have just gone. Oh, there we go. Okay, we lost all the answers. So freshly cooked flapjacks will harden as they cool, is what I was trying to say. You've got them all correct so far, well done. You must be very satisfied with your work. And children used the tree as a swing, which caused its branches to weaken. Good. Now, just before you go, just for a few minutes, could you please send me example sentences with some of the words you've used today? So try not to use any words that you already knew, but could you send me some example sentences with what you've learned? I would love to read them and I'll read them out in a second. And I will also try to find that beautify picture, which I think you will like. So as you think of your example sentences, I will just get this picture. Having trouble finding it. If I can't find it now, I'll post it in the comments later. Okay, what have we got in the way of example sentences? Oh, Facebook isn't showing them to me. The boy was petrified. Good. So the flapjacks one, it's not quite using one of the words that we've used today. So we need to let the cookies harden so they will be nice and cool. Good. Or it might say we need to let the cookies cool so they will be nice and hard. But yes, you've used harden correctly. I asked my teacher to simplify the instructions. Lovely. I was petrified as the car came screeching down the street. Nice. Nice use of the verb screeching. When you finish modeling clay, it will harden. Good. And good, well done on your scores in the closed test as well. If you didn't get the score that you hoped for, don't worry, because this is all new information for you. So if you practice a little bit, review these words in a day or so, then if you redo the closed test at a later date, then you should be okay. And so the water solidified in 3 seconds. Yes, so if perhaps you were in a very cold country, the like raindrops sometimes solidify. I assume they come down, or dripping water can solidify, I should say. I gave my younger brother a cookie to pacify him. Good. We are going to solidify our tickets at night. I'm not quite sure what has to do with at night, but you might solidify some plans and something in relation to tickets. Yes. The cat was petrified when it saw the dog. The adult was petrified. The teacher rectified her mistake. Yes, I had to rectify my mistake because I wrote broken earlier and it wasn't a verb. Gosh, we've got so many sentences all of a sudden. The iron solidified after being cooled for so long. Good. That's okay if you can't think of a sentence. Well, if you can't think of a sentence, I think you could come up with something about satisfying. So can you think of something that satisfied you? So something that made you quite pleased. I was petrified when I saw the long drop off the cliff. Good. I rushed to my friends to clarify what I saw yesterday. Perhaps you couldn't believe your eyes, so you needed to clarify. I had to satisfy my art teacher after she was petrified of my artwork. Okay. In an attempt to pacify the lion, he got eaten. You're going to some lengths to pacify the lion there. Good. Oh, I'm not sure what score you got, unfortunately, in the closed test. You'll have to tot it up. I'll write the rest of the answers in for you so that you can judge yourself. When we do these classes, normally, I usually give you a link so that you can do the closed test online, and then you can see what your score was. All right. Oh, the child's brain weakened as he started to feel dizzy. Good. Gosh, we have so many amazing example sentences. I am going to keep reading them and responding, but I won't read them all out now because I think we'll be here all day. But well done, everyone, for your work today. And for any parents that are there, if your children would like to join us for our next module courses, so we do these sessions, we do 1-hour sessions weekly throughout the term, new words each time, and revision is built in. And we have weekly contests. So at the end of the sessions 2 to 6, there is a contest at the end, which I know some of the children that are here today take part in and really enjoy, and some of them are very, very good at it. So it would be lovely to have some new faces. So if you would like 15% off our courses, then it would be great to have you there. All right, I'm going to keep reading these sentences, and I'll also post the picture of someone trying to beautify a pig for your amusement. Hopefully you will be satisfied by it. All right, if you have learned something today, just before I go, could you please give me a heart? Then I will know that you have learnt. This has been a good use of our time. Next lessons start next week. There's a Monday class with my colleague Fiona, and there's a Friday class with me. So details are on the website. Okay, bye. Oh, good, lots of hearts. I'm glad you learned something. Well done, bye. Have a good evening.